All right, guys. So here is an example of, I guess you can call it a dumb neural or the beginnings, right? So let's go ahead and start a neural network on the actual phone to do basic things for us. Obviously, we can use ChatGPT to do things for us like a word classifier. So basically, if you look up any videos, you'll see videos like this one. Basically, you get these images and these diagrams to say you get your inputs, your biases, or your perceptons, and then you get your outputs. I'm going to build a simple one. It's basically going to classify words or a sentence into whether it's a query or a command, right? So I want to know, hey, is this a query or is this a command? And why do I want to build this, right? So I'm building, let's say, the Siri 2.0, and I want to just keep chatting. But when I'm done chatting and I say, hey, I want you to send this to via text message or email this or copy it to clipboard, I wanted to recognize that, hey, I just gave you a command and it wasn't a query. So as I test this, one of the things I have it do is run through query, the query command classifier. So instead of me paying to have ChatGPT run that query for me, you know what I mean? I can run it locally and say, hey, just let's eliminate as much as possible the queries over there and let's run them over here locally. So let's see what this looks like, right? And I'll do a show, right? So show results. So we'll do a show results here. So how can I help you? List 5 items I need to buy at the grocery. All right, eggs, milk, bread, fruit, vegetables. All right, let's add more vegetables. All right, the value is invalid. I don't know what that means. The value, did I add? I didn't add quotation marks. All right, let's try again. Make me a list of 5 grocery items. Okay. What would you like to do next? I want a list of 5 vegetables. All right, so there's something wrong with the query command. I was messing around with it. Let's see what it is. All right. Split shortcut into spaces. Oh, I see. This one right here. That's why it failed. All right, let's try again. All right, well, you know what? Whatever. Let's just do it right here because this is really what it is. All right, so we got our list. So make me a list of 5 vegetables. It's going to go through the repeat. It's going to tell me, hey, that's a query. Then I want to say send message to Gina. That's a command, right? Let's do another one. Email clipboard to Gina. Command. Okay, so what am I doing here? So basically I gave it a list of commands. So this is why I called it dumb at first. It's like, all right, because I'm only giving it one list and I'm telling it, and my output is going to be a 1 or higher or a 0, and 0 being a command. And this is what it looks like. So here's a list of common Siri commands, right? So call, text, email, find, search, show, display, etc. I only took a few of those: send, text, email, copy, play, clipboard, share, calculate, call, open, launch, set, remind. And what I'm doing is I'm having it loop through that list and the list from the sentence that I am passing to it. So if I pass it a sentence that says, hey, I need you to calculate this and then send it to, it's counting how many words from this list of commands are on that list. And if there are more than one or more, and obviously this is why one is not really a good number to start with, because I can have a query that can sound or have multiple of these words in it, and I'll run a test on that now. And this is where, that's why I said this is dumb. So this one would be if you specifically know that you're giving in specific commands like copy to clipboard, send message, email this, right? And this is how you would make it smarter as you go along, because obviously you would feed it and say, hey, no, that was actually a command, or hey, that was actually a query, and this is how we do the math. So we start out with just the commands, and as we go along, we add queries, and then we add and subtract from those values so that our count is going to equal to 1 or 0, right? Or basically, if it's not a 1 or 0, which is the binary output that we want, which is going to give us the binary output of query or command, then that's how we'll do it. So for now, I'll just keep it like that. But let's, for example, let's make a list of queries that sound like commands. Let's see if we can get a list of that. Make me a list of queries that sound like commands. Compile a list of queries, right? Generate a report. Well, that's actually a command. Create a spreadsheet. Also, I would consider that a command. Design a presentation. Analyze the data. Command. Summarize the findings. Produce a forecast. Estimate the cost. Calculate probability. Develop a plan. I mean, all of these. Compile a list of queries. That's the only one that I would consider an additional query for the AI. The rest of these, actually generate a report. So I can say, hey, generate a report from this list or this file. So, but these are great examples right here. Let's go ahead and copy that to clipboard. And let's go back to Neuro. And I'll save this as an example. That way, when I start training it to do more stuff, more complex stuff, and then I can start implementing the JavaScript. On the other videos I showed, I used the JavaScript and I had it display on the browser, but I don't necessarily need to do that. I can have the JavaScript just run in the background, which is the point where I want to get to. It's like, hey, let's just start doing this in JavaScript. And that way we just write a couple scripts here and there. And as the more complex it gets, and at the end of the day, we just need a simple output. It could be a classifier like this one. Hey, I need you to let me know if this is a query or a command. If this is, let's say you submit an image. Hey, this is a face, or this is person such and such. At the end of the day, all I needed to do is to give me an output. And that output is usually going to be some sort of text or data in the form of a text, or it could be a file or whatever it is. So we'll go through this journey. Follow along. Let me see as I get smarter on these neural networks. We'll go from there and see how this goes. But as you can see, this one works pretty fine. And it basically just goes through this set of words that I just fed it. And it does simple math by looping through whether we have more than one of these words that indicate, hey, this is a command more than it is a query. When I have a query, I can't think of one right now. If you have one right now that you can think of that has multiple of these words, but it's actually more of a query, like I want to keep asking the AI questions, just let me know and I'll test it. Yes, you can have a muffin.